Beautiful lovely gamers, my name is Jonal. Let's talk about patch 1.44. Some of the changes, what people are playing in the meta, some of the good picks, and stuff that you should maybe think about either taking a look at or maybe avoiding in your rank games, in your scrims, and so on. Now, of course, before we start the video, a like on the video really helps out against YouTube's abusive algorithm. Give me your opinions down in the comment section. Also does help out, but it's also just nice to have some other opinions than just myself. Subscribe with bell notification as always if you want to rank up and get better at this game. It's 50 years for a 2-hour session. Doesn't matter if you're bronze or top 500. Hit me up on our Discord server, which is linked down below. Now, let's talk about the very first thing that happened in this patch, D.Va's boosters. And yes, I do know I'm a little bit late on the patch. I've been sick and then all kinds of stuff happened. So the patch update is a little bit late, but the good thing is I've been in way too many high tier scrims now. So at that point, I have a little bit more of a feeling about what people are playing. So, D.Va, her boosters CD or cooldown was decreased. So from 5 seconds down to 3 seconds, meaning you have now 2 seconds shorter cooldown. D.Va has been played a lot due to the previous patch nerfs to stuff like Sigma and this patch nerf to Orisa and Baptiste. D.Va's been playing far more in scrims, so she is more viable even though the buff wasn't that big to her. So, however, again, since she's being played, for a lot of people it's more because of what DPSs are being played currently in higher tier scrims, meaning Reaper and Mei, and also because of the fact that the nerf to both Orisa and Sigma that was implemented does a lot of other people pick off D.Va. It's not as much for the D.Va buff, and when talking to a 4.5k tank meta mine who is really fucking good, or I think it's 4.4 right now, one of the two, he said that, well, he feels useless on D.Va and ranked, so unless you're really fucking good or you're playing on a very specific map with a specific strategy, maybe avoid D.Va even though she's played in high tier scrims. Hanzo's projectile speed was reduced from 125 to 110, meaning everybody gotta go and relearn that. I struggled with it because I actually forgot that this has happened when I was playing. So I forgot about that. Maybe go in, play, 200 on the bots and you should be good. It's not that big of a difference, but it feels a little bit weird in the beginning. I think it's one of the gooder ones. The fact that you could use to say in scrims like, oh, but what if they pick Pharah? And we could say, it's fine, we have Hanzo. It's counters, right? The projectile speed was way too fast. I think it's a good nerf without making him complete other useless garbage. I think this is just a fine projectile speed decrease. Doomfist has been nerfed. I still am 100% sure that this is something that I like to call the Chipsa curse. Doomfist was meta for a really fucking long, well, for a decent amount of time. Everybody's playing Doomfist in scrims. Everybody was preparing Doomfist players. They signed Sigma to the Philadelphia Fusion. Doomfist gets hard nerf, and now he's nerfed once more. His uppercut recovery time has been increased from 0.2 seconds to 0.35. It is to mess up with his uppercut primary fire combo, which some developers thought was too strong. I don't understand why they thought it was too strong, because I think that Doomfist was in almost a little bit too weak of a spot. I haven't seen him being played in scrims for ages, and I've just seen it a couple of times in rank, but at that point he's a lot of time really easy to stomp on if you have decent accuracy or and understands how to dodge his right click. I think that this nerf is a little bit unwarranted, but it still happened. So maybe stick away a little bit from Doomfist unless you're really fucking good with him and know exactly how to dominate with him on the ladder, which some really good Doomfist players still do. I do still some really good one doing private coaching that actually hard carries in Diamond to Master range, but you need to be really good at him to use him with all of these nerfs that's just piling on top of him. Baptiste, Immortality Field, Duration and Uptime, duration, which is the uptime, has been reduced from 8 seconds to 5 seconds, so a 3-second reduction of his duration of his Immortality Field, and the cooldown has been increased from 20 to 25 seconds. Does this make him absolutely useless? No, it does not. And the Immortality Field is still really powerful. It still gives him an advantage. But one of the things that is a little bit worse is that his amplification matrix, the ult cost, has been increased by 20%. This is actually worse, as this can affect some of the fights where he could get a window around the same time and Mario could maybe build up a coalescence. You could normally get a window and it could to a certain extent trade out. Now you will normally end up with them always getting the coalescence a pretty good chance advanced ahead of you, and then they will have an ult advantage. I still think that he's good. I still think that if you know how to carry with him, you can still have so much impact on the match. I think the Immortality Field is a necessary buff because the ability is too strong without taking the ability out and making it completely utterly useless. Most people still struggle with him in lower elos because they use it at the wrong situation, and this will punish some of these lower elo players. But yeah, still a very powerful support that you can still pick up, especially just because of the insane healing and frag potential that you get out of him as a support. So you have so much impact on the match and so much carry potential if you play Baptiste. May's primary fire, the freeze of her gun, essentially, the slowing effect have been reduced from 30 to 90, where it used to be 20. No, sorry. I read that wrong. The slowing effect was reduced from 30 to 90, that's more correctly, down to 2070, meaning the maximum used to be 90, now the maximum is 70, the minimum used to be 30, now the minimum is 20. Essentially doing that, her slow is worse, which I think is completely viable and completely okay, because at least this will give you some room to escape her range, or at least have some form of being able to run around the corner, and she was a little bit too suppressive for way too long. Even more so, the slowing effect duration has been reduced from 1.5 seconds down to 1 second, which is a 25% decrease of her stun, which is really, really needed because the hard CC and the slow effect that May brought to the game was far too powerful. This has not made her unmeta. She's still really fucking strong. People still fucking play her a lot, especially in scrims, but at least she has been nerfed and to a certain extent weakened a little bit, and will probably be chipped away in future patches. Orisa, her fortified damage reduction reduced from 50 to 40%, making her even more targetable and squishy. A lot of people have gone away from playing Orisa. She still played because she can still it's still difficult to push her. She still have fortify and shield and holders on, but she has been moving. People have moving away from her, also due to the Sigma buff crippling her a little bit. I think, again, this is viable and completely warranted. The Orisa has been way too strong for way too long, so this damage, this kind of damage reduction has been very nice, and in my opinion, it's a move in the right direction. You can still play her and have really good effect on her on the rank ladder and also in scrims if you're really good at her. So that's the thing. D.Va is a little bit more meta, even though it makes very little sense buff wise. Hanzo, you need to kind of relearn. Doomfist is shifting out. Baptiste is weaker but still super strong. May is weaker but still super strong, and Orisa is still playable. So this is kind of like has tuned some of the stuff down, balanced some of it out, getting some quality of life changes to either some heroes, or even more so giving some quality of life changes to the people playing against said hero, but is still struggling a little bit with shifting the meta completely, as this is more of a adjustment patch than anything else. Yeah, besides that, guys, like, subscribe, bell notification, Twitter, Twitch, Discord, link down in the description. If you want to hire me as a private coach, 50 euros for a 2-hour session, hit me up on the Discord server, link down below. But I'll get out of your hair now and stop rambling. As always, guys, my name has been Jonal. You guys stay positive. I love you guys very, very much. As always, keep hitting me in your crosser.